So hello boys, and thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really excited about this yarn. Today I'm yarning with my deadly nephew, Duane Captain, and young Ray. Really excited, to have you both on. I know that you're both up at the Glen at the moment. We hear lots of amazing stories coming out of that place, and I'm a big believer that our kids need to see, what they aspire to be. And I'm just so proud of you both, of what you're doing, to, I guess, improve your life. But I know that you'll both be a role model for many of others out there, that hear your story and, that will grow from what you're doing up there. So I'm just going to start by asking you to both introduce yourself and tell us, maybe your name and who's your mob and where you're from. So over to you first, Duane.
Yeah. My name's Duane Captain. Kylie Captain's nephew. And yeah, like our mob's Gamilaroi. Our family is from Walgett, and yeah.
Awesome. And where did you grow up, Duane?
I grew up in the city, like in Glebe, around Redfern. Yeah, that's where I grew up, and that's where my aunties grew up and my uncles, and yeah.
Deadly. Thanks, Duane. And what about you, Ray?
My name is Ray. I was born in Lismore, Bundlang boy, and my dad's Canada. He's from our Canada ways. And I was down Sydney for a bit and going back and forwards, but yeah, it's all right.
Nice. And you've both been up at the Glen now for a few months, and as I mentioned before, we see lots of deadly stories coming out of there. Can you both tell me, I'll start with you, Duane, I mean, what's different for you now, I guess since joining, the program at the Glen, like what's changed?
For me, what's changed, probably everything in my life has changed since I've been here, like I was fucking on the drugs pretty bad. I've done a lot of jail. I've done about 7 years now, incarcerated, since I was 18, and yeah, just been on the drugs for a long time, and hard to snap out of it. Like I was just so used to, because where I grew up in the city, like all the boys around me, we just all done crime and got into trouble. That's how we had fun, and that's the only way I knew how to live, pretty much. When I was younger. So I guess coming here, it's really changed my life. And to actually get help, and we do counselling and stuff here, and to get, just to do all that stuff, and the connection we got through the boys, we got like a brotherhood here, and yeah, like, we do cultural things, and yeah, I wouldn't have done that if I wasn't here,
Wow, so proud of you. This is probably the hardest yarn for me, I think, because it's really emotional. I mean, as you know, I've been there your whole life. I was actually in that hospital room in Newtown when you were born. So to watch your journey, my nephew, and I've been there with you, watching you in and out of jail, stuck in the cycle. And as you know, I'm writing a book, and a whole chapter that I write about in my book is titled Breaking the Cycle. And it's about a lot of our youth, if you don't see, I guess that success within your communities, that a lot of that intergenerational trauma, that even if you haven't experienced it yourself, the stories and that hard stuff that's been passed on, from our mothers, our fathers, our aunties and uncles, the research shows these days that they reckon it takes about 6 generations to wipe out some of this trauma, so and sometimes, and I've experienced it myself, as a 15-year-old and in my teens, went to drugs and steal and all those sorts of things, and it is a way to numb, I guess some of that sadness and that trauma that has unknowingly been passed down to us, so I'm just so proud of everything that you've achieved, and to see you grow both culturally and into the incredible man that you are today, just makes me so proud. What about you, Ray? So you tell me that you're 19, brother. What was life like for you before coming to the Glen?
It was pretty bad, seeing my father, been growing up around my father, and sending him on the drugs and bad domestic violence with my mum and dad, and I was traumatized, and I learned how to forgive him because he's straight now, and he's off the drugs and that, and I was in and out of jail too, and first time I got locked out, I was in the big boys for a month, and like I snapped out of it, and like I got here, and seeing my father and that, like through the drugs and that, I was looking up to him. I was going on the wrong path, and my uncles, and yes, not long ago when I turned 13, I was on the drugs real hard, yeah, and my life was just going down bad track, and since I've come to Glen, my life is going good. I do meetings. We got a job together. We work to get our money, and I'm learning how to read in here. That's a good thing. I like, yeah, it was a hard struggle for me, but yeah, in the end, there's a light at the tunnel, and that's a good journey, man. Like, if you really want it, you got to put effort in, just for yourself and like for your life to come better. Yeah.
Absolutely, brother. And I follow as you know, I've grown up with your dad and uncles and aunties and that, and I've been seeing them posting stuff on Facebook, about your journey as well and how proud they are. So
Yeah.
what you're doing now, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your own family, your own community, and for our other, Aboriginal youth out there, that will hear your story and look up to both of you, as role models. So you both should be so proud. It's
Yeah.
deadly what you're doing. All right, I'm going to ask you as a question now. I think that 15 is a really big, a critical age in our lives. And I know that for me, when I was 15, as I mentioned, I was also getting up to no good. And I had this light bulb moment for me, where my teachers at school at Clevo, they got me to go and do my work experience at the Department of Aboriginal Affairs. And I walked into that building, and for the first time in my life, I feel like it was this light bulb moment. I saw all these deadly successful black fellas in their work and doing these jobs that I aspired to be. And I wish now that I could go back and tell my 15-year-old self something. I would tell her that, that she didn't have to smoke yandy and to do all these things, to numb what I was feeling, that there were other things, such as exercise and journaling and goal setting, all the stuff that I do now. What would be one thing that you could go back and tell your 15-year-old self? I'll start with you, Duane. What's one message that you would tell your 15-year-old self?
I'd probably just, either just not commit crimes, and just, I don't know. It's hard because growing up, because I had the ADHD stuff, when I was growing up, and I had just a lot of anger, so, just a lot of anger over, I don't know, just a lot of anger in me as a kid, so probably just to let that anger go,
Yeah, no, that's a good message. What about you, Ray? If you could go back 4 years ago when you were 15, or what would you tell yourself?
Just stay in school or something and listen, because I wasn't really good at school, and if I didn't go there, I'll turn to drugs, rock over at school hard, and yeah, but it's a good message, man. Like, you got to put it out there, because trust me, I'll learn from my mistakes, and yeah.
Deadly, brother. And what are your hopes and dreams? I think that you're all, I'm in awe of you fellas and all the brothers, that come out of the Glen. And I'm really excited, to hear that there's a women's program as well that's being built and coming up there. I believe, that our people need more of these, places where they can go and heal and work through their stuff. And, we see so many of our people go to jail and they come out worse than what they went in. I believe that was your story, Duane. Watching you from, being a young fella with this ADD and ADHD and getting off that medicine, and then, watching where your life went. It's, I think, probably, for a lot of our young fellas, you don't realise the impact that it has, on your family and the wider community. I know that I kind of sat from a distance, and, it's really sad, when you watch your people going through that stuff, but to be having this yarn today, to me, it feels like a dream come true, because we all want our families and our people to do good, What are your hopes, to see our people? And I'll share this little yarn with you. So my job now is to support our teachers in schools to really understand, I guess, ways to best engage our Aboriginal students in school. We want them to feel like that their culture is valued, that when they enter them school gates, that they don't have to leave their culture out the door. I teach the teachers and the principals about our history and our culture, so that our kids can know that they can participate in education, but bring their culture with them and share everything that they're experts at. What are your, I mean, my dream is to see more of our kids going through and attaining the HSC. You know, a lot of research shows, you know, that if you get your HSC or you get an education, you know, your life expectancy increases. Obviously, you got more employment opportunities, and I'm sure you fellas are learning all this up at the Glen now. What would your dream or your aspiration, you know, for our Aboriginal youth? Two of my colleagues went out to Reba the other week, and you know that they said that when they were in there, 11 of the 12 students in one of the classroom were Aboriginal, you know, and there's, you know, we know that our JJ centres are full of our kids, our jails are full of our people. Have you got a message, you know, that you would like to give, you know, to our young fellas, you know, to try to stop them from entering this cycle?
Yeah, like it's like what you said before with the generational trauma, you know. So that's a lot of the reason why, you know, that people end up incarcerated and, you know, through audit, like through institutions, you know. But I guess
Yeah, no, absolutely.
that's like a main reason, you know. So it just passes down the line, you know, and they just, I don't know. But I guess a message I could give is, like you said, with the culture in the school, like I've never had that growing up, you know. So, you know, I went to a school where my primary school, like where I was probably the only black kid there, you know, and then I fucked up and went to a behaviour school, and then that's where the other black kids were, you know, in a behaviour school. So yeah, I don't know.
That's where you could connect, and yeah.
Yeah, you know, it needs a big change, you know, and even in the prison systems, because there's so many black fellas there, you know, I was held up with my uncle, with cousin Joe, and like it's crazy, you know, like on the outside, when like you go to jail when you feel like you're home because so many of your family members are in there, you know, and so many black fellas are in there. So yeah, I don't know, it just needs it needs a systematic change, you know. I don't think there's just one solution. You know what I mean?
No, deadly. I agree. What about you, Ray? Any message for our young fellas coming through the system, or a way to help them?
I don't know, like they should change it, you know, as soon as they get out, they've got something to go to, you know, like men's group and all that, like meetings, like talk about how your life's going and how you been and where did you come from, you know, like I help them a lot, you know, because I was lost when I got out of jail, came here, and you need to get back into your culture, because when you got your culture in your life, you find your spirit back, and that will liven you up, you know, and like you're on top of the world, man, when you do that stuff. But yeah, you just gotta help them, eh? Help the young fellas like who's been in and out of jail, and because you can change, you know, your life can change. Yeah. Gotta do it yourself, you know.
Absolutely. I always believe that, you know, it doesn't matter how many times you've chose the wrong path, you know, there's, as long as that sun is rising and setting again, you know, there's always an opportunity to start fresh and to make a change, you know. And I think we can have all the hopes and dreams in the future, you know, everything, we can dream it all up, but if we actually don't take action, you know, and actually do something about it, then it's only ever going to be a hope, you know, nothing will ever change. And the work that you're both doing there, you know, you're actually doing things to make a difference for yourselves. And as I mentioned, you're not only just doing it for yourselves. I hope you both know, you know, that what you're doing will have a bigger impact, you know, on for your family, for your wider community, and heaps of our other black kids out there, you know. And you know, you're just both so strong and healthy now, and I've been following both your journeys, you know, seeing that, you know, you're being fit and working and giving back to community, and like all that stuff must feel so good for you, you know. And keep up the good work, you know, and I really look forward to continuing, you know, this journey and watching you both grow. And I think the future will be very, very exciting for both of you. So I might wrap up our call. Yeah, I just want to say a massive, you know, thank you to both of you. Please keep up the deadly work that you're doing, and, you know that that you're both so deadly and making a big difference. So, you know, stay strong. Now, as a bit of a thank you, you know, I know that you've got your little gift there today. Duane, do you want to hold up your little present that you've got?
Cairns curry powder.
Cairns curry powder. And tell me what you did with it today. What sort of recipe? What did you do? What did you do with it today?
Well, today I put it on my Devon sandwich.
Oh Lord!
Just to give it a bit of a spice, you know.
And how was that?
Yeah, it was good. It actually made it taste a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never tried that one. I must try it. I must say, curry is a big hit in our house here. Every week we'll go from curry mince, curry sausage, curry chicken. And when we were going into lockdown, I was guilty. I wasn't them fellas out there buying toilet paper. I was stocking up on my Keen's curry. So I think every black fella loves a good Keen's curry, and I'm glad you got your Keen's curry there. And you know, I think that makes us strong and deadly, that Keen's curry. Anyone think we come from India or something? We love our curry. I don't know where the curry came from with black fellas. Anyway, I'm going to stop this recording, and we'll stay on for a bit longer. But thank you so much, my brothers and my nephew. So I'm actually really, really proud of myself. I got through this whole yarn without crying, because I know I had to build myself up for this one to yarn with you, Duane. And young Ray, it's you know, I guess it's a small world, you know, with black fellas as well. You know, as soon as I saw your photo, I was like, he looks familiar, that fella. And I knew that there was some sort of connection there. And you look so much like your dad and your uncles and your mob. And I know how proud they are. So deadly brothers, stay strong, and we'll yarn again soon. I'm just going to stop recording.